What is good, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, which if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you are, welcome my friends to the Hunter Call of the Wild. I'm gonna tell you right now, you made the right choice, man. Call of the Wild is the best game on the face of the earth. The best hunting game, at least, in case you're not a obsessive player like myself. This is my full-time job, so work with me. Today, we're gonna be doing a Call of the Wild beginner's guide in the simplest way possible. If you're new here, my name is Squid. I make a lot of guides here in the Hunter Call of the Wild, and what I'm known for here on YouTube is extreme simplicity and extreme detail in those guides. By the end of this video, you guys are going to be out hunting, shooting animals like crazy. You're going to know exactly what the first thing that you should be going towards is. You're going to understand how to use the HUD, how to track animals more easily, and at the end of this video, we're going to talk about a little secret that actually helps you take your hunt to the next level here in Call of the Wild. So without further ado, guys, wasting no more of your time, again, welcome to the channel, welcome to Call of the Wild. If you guys want to help me out, my goal by the end of 2026 is 50,000 subscribers. If you wouldn't mind, please head down there and hit that subscribe button. It is very, very much appreciated. And wasting no more of you guys' time, let's go ahead and dive right into today's banger. Alrighty boys, so right off the bat, you're probably going to find yourself right here in this initial spawn point area that the game's going to spawn you in at, and it's here that it's kind of going to walk you through probably a little bit of a tutorial, and eventually it's going to direct you towards that lookout point up there. There should be a little waypoint on it. I don't remember, this was 8 years ago I did this tutorial, so work with me. But really all you need to do is pull open your map, and you're going to want to drop a waypoint on this little lookout point here. It should be green for you, it's white for me because I have it unlocked, and your map should look really, really dark. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and run up to that waypoint. It's during this process that you can get the hang of some of the things like the controls, like switching between your weapons on keyboard. It's just like any other game. You can either hold in on the scroll wheel and use your weapon switcher wheel thingy here, or you can use 1, 2, 3, 4 to switch through all your different slots. On controller, I believe it would be triangle or Y to switch your weapon. Upper left bumper will make it so that way you just have your hands out. Basically, you're just putting your weapon away and you're freehanding running around, as you can see. And you click that upper left bumper one more time and it'll pull it back out. The upper right bumper pretty much serves no purpose right now, but you'll eventually be able to do things like zeroing with it, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner. We're not going to talk about that right now though, that's for another guide. That's a very, very advanced perk that you'll eventually unlock and it'll make your experience so much better. In the bottom right hand corner, as you guys can see, we have that little circle in the middle that kind of bounces around as I move around here. What that is your visibility. So for example, if I were to run up here into this tree, this one is super thick here, as you can see, that circle goes completely away and it turns into a little line. That means you're fully invisible. Frankly put, that circle is how visible you are. So as I step out here, you can see I'm a little bit visible. If I stand up, I'm fully visible. And also if I run, obviously I'm going to be fully visible. If I were to go prone, which on controller you hold circle or B, or on PC you just hit Z, I'm not fully invisible, but I'm almost fully invisible. To be fully invisible, you obviously need to be in some type of cover, so whether this be trees, shrubs, thick grass, anything like that will work. Visibility is very, very important in this game because the animals run on a very advanced AI system and they can absolutely see you moving around. Certain animals have better eyesights than others. It is very, very realistic in the sense of how the animals operate. Certain animals like deer can hear a lot better than they can see. Certain animals like turkeys can see a lot better than they can hear, just like real life. On the left there is your heart rate. Really, it serves no purpose unless you're aiming through your scope. If you're moving very, very fast, then you sit down and start to aim, you notice your scope will be bouncing all over the place. This is very, very normal as your guy's out of breath. To hold your breath, you push in on the left joystick on controller, I believe, or on PC you hold shift, and it'll steady your aim. Mind you that my aim is naturally going to be a lot more steady than yours right off the bat because I have a lot of different skills and perks unlocked. I do have skills and perks guides on my channel with a new one coming soon. But right now, I would suggest that you pay no attention to skills and perks as you're this early off in the game. Last but not least, as you can see on the right there, we have that wheel, or that compass, however you want to say it. And there's a little cone. That cone shows you which direction the wind's blowing. As you can see, the grass is moving to the right. To the right of me, and where the cone is pointing, is about southeast, more east. Now I'm looking into the direction of the wind. So if there were an animal standing about right there where that waypoint is, it would smell me, especially if it's an animal like a deer that has a really good sense of smell, and it would probably spook. Now if the cone were to be pointing northwest, where my little arrow is pointing right now, facing that way, and the animal were standing down there southeast, the animal would have no way to smell me because the wind would be blowing the opposite direction. Although I'm fully visible right now and I'm only 100 meters from my waypoint, And 90% of the time, if you're fully visible at 100 meters and the animal's facing you, it's gonna spook. Or at least it's gonna go alert because it'll be able to see you. Last but not least, if you click Options on controller or Escape on PC and head over to the inventory, this is gonna show you everything you have equipped. It's very, very simple. We're going to talk more about this here in a little bit, but you have all your basics, weapons, ammo, sights, lures, and binoculars. We're going to talk a lot more about this once we make it to the next point in this guide. Right now, again, you just want to be heading to this lookout point, and I'll catch you guys once we get there. So once you guys do make it to this lookout point here, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and climb up the stairs, all the way until you make it to this top here where this little billboard is. And what you're going to want to do is go ahead and click square or X on controller or E on keyboard, and it's going to go ahead and run a little cinematic. And what it's going to do, if you pull open your map, is it'll unlock a little bubble on your map, and it'll show you this outpost here. It'll be green for you, it's not unlocked yet. What you're going to want to do is go ahead and drop a waypoint on it. And before we head over there, I want you guys to zoom out on your map. You'll notice that you'll have a lot of these little green lookout points scattered all over your map. There's another one here, mine are white because they're all unlocked once again. There's another one here. You'll be able to see them like a sore thumb if your whole map's dark and they're green. For every one that you unlock, it's going to unlock another little bubble of your map. So I'll jump over to this one here. It'll unlock another little bubble there. And once you get all of them unlocked, which you don't have to do right off the bat, you can do this later, whenever you want. Once you get all of them unlocked, your entire map will light up like this and you'll be able to see every single outpost. Now, outposts are simply fast travel points. There's two other very, very important aspects to outposts though, which make them essential. And myself, when I first started playing this game, I ignored them by accident right off the bat, and I quit this game like 5 times in a row because I thought there was no point to it. I thought that was the only gun you could get, the beginner gun. No, Squid's just a moron. I was 7 years old when I started playing this game, and I'm currently 16, so that might have had something to do with it too, but go ahead and drop a waypoint on that outpost. You can head down, it's only a 300 meter dash. You can literally see it from where you're standing on top of this thing. So I'll catch you guys once we get over there. Alright guys, so once you make it to the outpost, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and head up to this flagpole here. You're going to want to again hit your interaction button. That'll either be square or X on controller or E on keyboard. Go ahead and grab the flagpole. This will unlock the outpost. It's going to run a little cinematic for you. When you unlock one outpost, it'll only unlock that outpost. It will not unlock every single outpost on the map. You have to do that individually. And to see the locations of these outposts, again, you're going to need to unlock those lookout points, which will open up that little bubble and highlight the outposts for you. If you want to take a screenshot of my map, that's where all of the outposts are located. You can see them because they have the little house icon. Now mind you, the more outposts that you unlock, the better, because it's going to diversify the amount of locations that you can hunt at. One of the biggest mistakes I've made as a beginner player is hunting in the same area over and over and over again when these maps are literally like 20 square kilometers. Certain animals congregate to certain parts of the map. For example, you'll find elk and black bear more in the north, whitetail and moose more in the south, etc, etc. Again, you absolutely do not have to unlock your entire map right off the bat. Just getting a few of them is probably smart. I'd suggest that you get this lookout point here, these two outposts, this lookout point here, and this outpost here. That will open up so much more than just the base game spawn location. So, other than fast travel points, outposts also serve two crucial parts of this game, which makes them so essential. I don't know how I managed to skip over outposts. I've seen a lot of people do it. I don't know, it's just kind of not very obvious, I guess, that you need to go unlock them. I really don't understand it. But anyways, the very first thing that you're going to see is there's a bed inside of the outpost where you can change the time. We're going to talk about this more in here in just a second. What I want you guys to go to first is this little red shipping container. You'll find one of these at each outpost, and this is your cache. Now this can get a little bit confusing, so we're going to be very, very specific and very, very simple here, as I am in 99% of my videos. This is the store. As you can see, this is where you buy things. Inside of your storage here is where those things that you buy go. So if you bought a weapon, it will be inside of your locker. You have these drop-down menus here. So for example, if I were to buy, let's go with the 270. The 270 is here in my storage locker, as you can see, and I would need to drag that into my inventory. Go ahead and click Save Loadout. Now the 270 is in my inventory, but as you can see, it's not equipped. So what you need to do is go ahead and click Escape, navigate to the inventory. As you can see, we have inventory here. Then you go to Weapons. Here's the gun that you just bought. You drag it out into your wheel, or if you prefer hotkeys like you're on PC, you can drag it out into whatever slot you want. And now, if I click 3, I can pull out the 270, and there it is on my wheel. But as you can see, there's no ammo and there's no scope. So again, you're going to want to go into your inventory, go to ammo. I have a lot of bullets, so work with me, but here's the 270 bullets. You can drag them out into the 270. You can go to sights. You can drag your scope onto the 270, or a little tip, if you pull up the wheel, you hover over the gun you want to equip an asset on, and you click Q. That will toggle between ammo types that you have in your inventory, or E will toggle between the scopes. That'll take the scope off, that'll put the scope on. That'll switch your ammo to different types. So, it's also very, very important that you make sure if you buy ammo from the store, which obviously you're gonna need to do for a gun, we're gonna talk about more of this here in just a second. You go into your storage, you go to ammo, and you put the ammo into your inventory. Same thing with sights. If you buy a new scope, you wanna make sure you put the scope into your inventory. And then just like we drug the weapon out into the wheel, you're gonna wanna drag the sight out into the wheel and drag the ammo out into the wheel. It's kinda confusing right off the bat, but eventually it's just like a third nature. Now you should come equipped with the Ranger 243, which is actually a pretty good gun. I use it in real life a crap ton. I've shot a lot of deer with it. I did make the switch to a 7mm rem mag, but I used the 243 for a lot of years, being a youth hunter, and I love it. The only thing is, in-game, it comes with 243 soft point bullets, which are not very good. In fact, they're absolutely terrible. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and come over here to the cache, head into the store, go to rifle ammo, scroll down to the 243 polymer tip bullets. As you can see, the soft point bullets are free, so you can buy as many of those as you want. It will kill animals, it's just not very good. But as soon as you get enough money, and I mean as soon as you get enough money, get the 243 polymer tip bullets. Even if it's just 10, you can shoot 10 animals and then buy 20 more bullets. You can shoot 10 more animals, then buy 30 more bullets. You know what I mean? The polymer tips make such a big difference in penetration. As you can see, the soft points are 15 and the polymers are 30. I would rock the 243 with the polymer tip bullets as long as you possibly can. Save as much money as you can. And from that point, I would suggest watching some of my other videos, which will teach you the best scopes, the best guns. If you want to buy DLC, I have a lot of DLC guides and things like that. But for this video, we're going to talk about how to find animals. How to hunt with this beginner's loadout, because that's where you are in the game right now. See, Squid staying organized. So what you guys are going to want to do is go ahead and go into the outpost. Go ahead and set the time to about 8 a.m. I'm going to go for about 8:45. This is an amazing beginner's time. Now right off the bat, it will be very, very cheap for you to reset the time. I reset the time all the time, so it's very expensive for me, but it should only be a few $100 for you guys. So, now what you guys are going to want to do is if you're at this beginner's location here, I would suggest that you guys drop a waypoint, just somewhere in the middle here, and go run around in this first water source. It's called Ball Mount, kind of swampy area. I think it's actually called the Ball Mount Swamp. What you'll find at this specific time of day is a lot of white-tailed deer, and you'll find them drinking. When you see a herd of white-tailed drinking, you'll discover what's called a need zone. Drink zones are the most common, and drink zones are the only ones I would suggest that you hunt right off the bat, because drink zones are typically in very wide open areas which are around water sources. As you can see, there's a white-tailed deer drink zone here. Whitetail only drink from 8 until 12 here in Layton, so setting the time to 8:49 will be absolutely perfect because you'll have all the way till 12 to hunt them. I would only suggest that you hunt whitetail right off the bat, especially with the 243, as the 243 is literally a whitetail gun in real life and in the game. And just shoot as many whitetail as you possibly can until you get a few $1,000s. Look what we have here. We have some moose in front of us. Now, you can shoot a moose with the 243, especially if you have the polymer tip bullets, but it's going to be a big, big challenge. So right off the bat, you obviously are going to have no way to tell how far the animal is from you because you're not going to have all that information in the trophy card. You're not going to have the binoculars with the rangefinder. So what you're going to want to do is spot the animal. That's another thing. You're not going to be able to spot through your scope. You're only going to be able to spot through your binoculars. Those are skills and perks you'll unlock later on. What you're going to want to do is once you've spotted the animal, you're going to want to pull open your map and you'll see this little green thing. Hover over it, and as you can see in the bottom right, this moose is about 116 meters from us. I'm going to try to shoot it with the 243, but A, it's not ethical, and B, I don't even think it'll kill it unless I get a perfect heart shot. So, wherever he went, screw it, let's try to get the female here. Just like that. That very well could have been a lung. I mean, it felt good. Try to get another shot in there. Ooh, we have whitetail to the right, let's go. I was only about 80 meters away. That very well could bring her down. It is going to take her a very long time to die with the 243. But if she does die, this is going to be an amazing opportunity to take you guys into tracking. Because tracking is another thing that a lot of people struggle with right off the bat. But that there is just a prime example of why you should never shoot a moose with the 243. Holy crap, I actually got a lung. She's going to die. There's no way. I am the GOAT. I know it. Not really. If you run up to where you shot her at and you see vital organ hit, this is going to take her down because I shot her in the lung. If it says no organs hit or non-vital organs hit, it will not kill her with the 243. Now, as you can see, there's yellow tracks and there's blue tracks. Blue tracks will always be the current animal that you're tracking. When you're tracking, I'd suggest that you pull open your hunter mate. I just click tab on my keyboard, and as you can see there's a little blue thing that shows the last track that I picked up. It's also on your map, and that's right where her blood is. So what you're going to want to do is look for more blue tracks. It's very important in the tracking process that you don't pick up other tracks, because it'll make it so that way the last animal that you're tracking will not highlight blue anymore. It just goes back to normal, because obviously I'm tracking this whitetail. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to jump back to this blood trail here. And as you can see on my hunter mate there's a little blue cone. That cone shows you exactly which way she's running. You're going to want to run in the direction of that cone and look for more blue tracks. There's some more blood there. Here's some more blood here. Here's some of her tracks. Here's some more blood, and you just want to follow the trail. Oh, see, she turned directions there. It also shows you on the ground what direction she's going. There's some poop. Here's some more blood. And you just want to track this all the way up until you find her. Now, as you can see, if I pull open my map, there's a little pink splotch here that wasn't here before. That is hunting pressure, which indicates that the animal you shot died. I shot the animal right in the middle of that little pink splotch. The hunting pressure will always be centered perfectly with the last animal that you shot. If the animal didn't die, no hunting pressure will show up. So this is an amazing way to tell if your animal died or not, so you're not wasting hours tracking animals that aren't even dead. So I'm just going to go ahead and track this moose. I do have the Bloodhound DLC, which is super helpful because I can just praise him real quick to make him happy and have him track the animal for me, and he'll take me right to her. The reason he ran all the way back here like this is because he's finding the initial blood splat. It's just how he works. Kind of annoying, I know, but he'll take me right to her either way. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and put a hotspot map up on screen for you guys right now, and these are the areas that I would suggest that you hunt as a very beginner player right off the bat at that 8:45, 9 o'clock time range. Once you make it to 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or 1300, then I'd suggest that you go back to an outpost and reset the time. As long as you run these highlighted areas, you'll find tons of whitetail, which is the main species you want to focus on. They're going to be the easiest to kill. I'd recommend that you get up to about 150 meters from them and only take broadside shots. Now I do have a whole shot placement guide coming very soon. Really, you just want to aim right in the center of their chest, broadside, right behind that front leg. That's the sweet spot. And as soon as you make it to a point of where you level up, you'll notice that you get either a skill point or a perk point. I'd suggest that you watch one of my skills and perks guides so you know exactly the best way for you to spend them, but it's pretty simple. You can spend your skill points in the skills tree here, in either Ambusher or Stalker. For example, sight spotting. As you guys seen earlier, I can spot animals through my scope, which is very fun and very important, and very useful. That is a skill. As you guys could see earlier, I can zero, which is extremely crucial. Zeroing is essential in this game. That is a perk unlocked through the perk tree. It's pretty simple. If you want to know the best way to spend your skills and perks, then I would suggest that you watch one of my skills and perks guides. But what I really want you guys to pay attention to here is how much XP and how much money you have. Before you even buy another gun, the first thing that I would suggest that you do is save up for this scope. I know the beginning scope is terrible, you just gotta work with it for a while. You only need $12,000 and a handful of XP to get the Hyperion. If you go to an outpost, you go to the cache, you go to rifle sites, and you find the Hyperion, it'll tell you how much XP you need, or what level you need to be, I think. If you want to completely skip over this and just worry about buying guns, I would suggest that you buy the Scopes and Crosshairs DLC. It's only a couple of dollars, and it'll give you the best scope in the game entirely for free. You don't gotta worry about buying it with in-game money, using XP. The Odin is in fact the best scope in the game. It's a one-time purchase. You can use it on every single rifle. You'll never need to buy another scope. I'm not an official partner with this game. I don't get paid to promote their DLCs. I'm just telling you, this is an overpowered scope. It is amazing. It will help you immensely. From that point, if you guys want to buy weapon DLC, that's also another thing that I would strongly suggest. I have several DLC guides on my channel. You can entirely skip over the process of saving up and buying the best non-DLC guns, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. DLC is absolutely worth it. Certain maps come with guns if you buy a map DLC. The best gun in the game, the Arzina 300, which will take Moose down literally like butter, is probably the best weapon DLC, but certain maps like Yukon Valley come with the exact same caliber just in a bolt action form, this gun was the best gun in the game for a very, very long time until we received a 5-round semi-automatic AR version of it with a weapon DLC. I believe this is in the high caliber or high power weapon DLC. I'll try to leave the link down below. Like I said, I got tons of DLC guides on my channel. DLC is definitely the way to go. Is it pay to win? Absolutely. But I mean, the developers have to make money somehow, right? This game has been going for 8 years and it's still being updated. The very first non-DLC gun that I would suggest you save up for is the 270. It's only 12 grand. Again, you're going to want to pair it up with that Hyperion rifle scope, which is also only 12 grand. From that point, I would suggest that you start to save up for something like the 7mm single shot, which is arguably the best non-DLC weapon, the 7mm Empress Magnum here. This is the gun that you want. You can take down moose easily, you can drop whitetail every time, it's just the best. For animals like turkeys and whatnot, coyotes, the 243 in the base game shotgun will do you just fine, although for shotguns I would always suggest the Cacciatore 12 gauge, it's 6 rounds, just the best shotgun in the game in general. And if you can, investing in the 22 mag DLC is 100% worth it. In your character, I would suggest that you do buy a backpack. If you just go to the store, scroll all the way down to consumables, and go to backpacks. Try to buy the most expensive backpack. That'll make it so you have a ton of extra carrying space. You can carry more things on you. And other than that, my friends, just literally run around and shoot everything you see right off the bat. Shoot absolutely everything. Even if it's just a doe, don't worry about trophy hunting right off the bat. Trophies will come naturally as you just run around and hunt. Again, unlocking a lot of your map will very, very, very positively improve your hunting experience. I find that there's way more whitetail kind of just on this left-hand side river in general than in this Ball Mount area. There's obviously more blacktail on the right side of the map because that's where they go, as you can see. We have a lot of drink zones from all different types of species, not only just blacktail. You'll find elk more around here. And once you get that 270, elk hunting is another thing that's very, very easy to do, or at least a lot easier than with the 243. And the main thing you want to focus on right off the bat is cash amount and XP. You always want to know what you're going for next. And for that, I'd suggest going back to an outpost, going to the cache, and looking for something that you want next. The next gun you want, the next scope you want. Grinding to get skill and perk points. Mind you that the maximum level you can get to is 60, so you're going to want to watch a skills and perks guide, which will teach you how to spend them wisely so you can get everything you need. Whether that be spotting knowledge, things like revealing information about the approximate health of the animal, the approximate trophy rating of the animal. This is stuff that pops up while you're spotting animals. Sight spotting, essential as crap. And stalker, track knowledge, reveals information about the approximate animal group size, the animal's weight, the animal's gender when picking up tracks, disturbed veg. I don't have this, but I should. It shows the fur type when picking up disturbed vegetation. If there's a rare animal and it's a mile away, and it left a disturbed vegetation, you could pick it up and see if it has a rare fur type, like albino, melanistic, or piebald. Those are the most commons. One last super important thing that I kind of didn't mention, look at that, we got a whitetail there, is what binoculars you should go for. Now I'm going to show you guys exactly in the store here in just a second, but I'm going to give you guys one last animal example. We're going to shoot some whitetail real quick. With the base game 243, I'm going to stay 0 to 150 to keep it as normal as possible, because when you don't have that zeroing perk, every gun in the game is automatically 0 to 150, unless it's a shotgun, then it would be 0 to 50. If it's a pistol, it'll probably be 0 to 25. Automatically, your 243, your base game 243, your 270, your 7mm, if you don't have the zeroing perk, will be 0 to 150. So therefore, what I'm going to do here, since I've seen those whitetail, there's their drinking zone, by the way, that's where they're drinking at. This little green thing's where they're standing at. I'm going to drop a waypoint there, right in the middle of it. Now, as you can see in the bottom right, it says they're 257 meters. I have that waypoint out there, right on top of where they're standing, so I can see how far they are without even having to worry about pulling open my map. Now, this guy's nice and broadside. I have him spotted specifically now. The little green thing did move a little bit because he moved. He's about 215 meters. We'll drop a waypoint there. We're going to run up to about roughly 150. Now, mind you, if you're just walking normally, at 164 meters, any animal will start to hear you walking. So you're going to want to crouch once you make it to about 150 meters, 160 meters, somewhere around there. Now, the shot is very, very obstructed here, so I'm just going to go up to the water's edge, out of these reeds here so I can see him better. I can probably make do with this. Yeah, I can see him pretty well. So this is where you're really going to see the difference in scopes. Here's the base game scope. It's very, very doable from 150 meters. Is it terrible? Yes, but I mean, it's doable. It's better than iron sights, right? They could have started us with no scope. So I'm probably going to shoot this whitetail with this scope just as an example. But let me show you how big of a difference the best scope in the game, the Odin, makes. Our wind is beautiful from 130 meters. Look at that. That's pretty much guaranteed instant death. It just makes such a big difference. It's honestly kind of too zoomed. So yeah, it's only a couple dollars. Again, Scopes and Crosshairs DLC is probably the best DLC that'll help you out right off the bat. It'll probably help you out the most. For the sakes of this video, we're going to shoot it with the Ascent here. Now he's moving on us. Okay, I can work with that. Again, every rifle in the game is automatically 0 to 150. He's about 130. I'm just going to aim normally. This is the majority of time if the animal's broadside from you, the majority of the time where you're going to want to place the shot. You're going for double lungs, single lung, or a heart shot. So right where my crosshair is right now is his lungs. The heart, which I would not suggest going for with the 243, is going to be about right there. And that's really all you need to know for pretty much every species in the game. But there is a bunch of different shots that are ethical that'll take them down super fast. I'd suggest checking out my shot placement guide coming soon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take down this whitetail here. And as you can see, his health is dropping in the upper right hand corner, but you will not be able to see that as a beginner player. So what you're going to want to do is just, like in real life, he died right there. You're going to want to either watch him or look for hunting pressure to show up. That won't happen in real life, but watching him definitely happens in real life. So now what you're going to want to do is go ahead and drop a waypoint right in the center of that hunting pressure, which as long as you marked the animal that you were shooting to see how far he was, which is something that I do even with my rangefinder binoculars still. As pretty much a pro player, I always mark the animals that I'm shooting just so that way I know right where I need to run to pick him up. Because when you don't have the hunting dog, it's very, very difficult to find the animals you shot sometimes. These maps are huge, and it's very, very easy to get lost. Okie dokie, boys, here he is. There, right there is his vital blood, as you can see. And right here is where he died at. So we'll grab this whitetail real quick. That's with the 243 Palmer tip bullets, beautiful double long from 122 meters. Little silver there, and he paid us $611, which yes, isn't that much compared to other species in the game, but as a beginner player, $611, one singular whitetail can buy you 10 of those Palmer tip 243 bullets. If you keep shooting whitetail and keep buying more bullets, that's the process to making more XP, more money, and taking your hunt to the next level. So last but not least, I'm just going to show you guys those binoculars I was talking about. And then you guys can go on your own ways, start your hunts, enjoy the game, do not get discouraged. It's a hunting game, it's not supposed to be easy, but as long as you followed this guide pretty much perfectly, you shouldn't have much issues. What you're going to want to do is, again, when you're buying something, go to the store, scroll down to binoculars here, and look for the Apex V binoculars. They're base game, there's no DLC required, 7x42. It does take quite a bit of XP to get them, but they're only 24k, it's really not that bad. Might take you a week or two to save up for them, but gives you something to work towards, right? Another thing, if you're on console, you'll have the quad DLC for free. If you're on PC, you're going to need to buy the quad DLC, but this is pretty much the only way to unlock your full map, as it will take you, I think, several hours to run from one side of the map to the other. That's literally how big the map is. It doesn't look like it when you're on the screen here, but the map is giant. That's the thing with Call of the Wild. It's what they're pretty much famous for, is giant maps. Thousands of animals. Literally, there's no exaggeration, there are thousands of animals on each map. When you have a quad, you can go like 40 miles an hour from lookout point to lookout point. It'll go quick. It still takes me an hour or two to unlock a full-size map like this, but it's much better than, I mean, realistically, if you're doing it on foot, you may never get a whole map unlocked. That's how big they are. But I mean, unlocking a couple lookout points is very, very doable. Maybe the bottom half. Maybe you're going on a hunt, you made it up next to this one anyways, grab that one while you're at it, grab the outpost nearby. A quad's going to make it much easier, figured I'd throw that in there as well. But realistically, all you need to do right off the bat, again, is hunt, hunt, hunt. Set the time to about 8 AM, reset it once it gets to about that 12-1300 range, shoot a bunch of whitetail. Once you get to the bigger guns, moose, drink 12 to 16, and you can find them on all of the same highlighted locations that were on that hotspot map earlier. And they pay pretty good as well. They're just going to be a lot easier to shoot with something at least like the 270. Although I would suggest something like a 30-06, 7mm, 300, 375, 338, things like that. But hey, if this video helped you guys out, I really, really hope it did. It's going to be a long one, and it's going to be a pain for me to edit, but, you know, a guide that was this simple and detailed and told me what to do right off the bat when I first started playing 8 years ago would have been very, very nice, as it took me a year or two to actually get the hang of this game. It's a beautiful game, and it's just a matter of if you're willing to invest the time. And to get good at it, you really have to make it your main game. What better game to make as your main game, though? I mean, it's beautiful. As always, my name is Squid. You guys are watching Squidster Outdoors. Again, my goal is 50,000 subscribers by the end of 2026. As a 16-year-old content creator trying to turn this into my full-time job, it is very, very much appreciated. Any support is very, very much appreciated. As simple as hitting the like button can help out more than you'll ever know. As always, my name is Squid. You're watching Squidster Outdoors, and we'll catch you guys in the next banger. Peace out, my gamers.